Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to the A through Z playthrough. In today's video, we're taking a look at Lucio, formerly one of my most favorite characters in this game. I'm sure a lot of you remember fondly the days of Damage Lucio. I know I certainly do, but of course, times have changed a little bit since then. Since Damage Lucio was a thing, we now have a brand new heroic ability replacing Reverse Amp, which used to be a key component of the build. High Five is something that we actually use in this game today as well, and it's pretty good. Actually has a higher win rate right now than Sound Barrier. Speaking of win rates, Lucio is sitting at a 47.23% win rate right now with a popularity of 20%. And a ban rate of 6%. So Lucio is getting around these days. Look at him go. At the same time, when Lucio received the changes to his heroic ability, he also received a new trait. This is Push Off. I'm still kind of bad at using this, but I'm getting a little bit better. It's just kind of awkward when you remember you have to be planted to a wall at the same time. Lucio has always been a healer that can be so annoying in the right hands because he can move so fast with his level 1 talent, Accelerando, coupled with Slip that gives him even more movement speed. Lucio can literally be all around the map all of the time, moves way faster than any mount could ever hope of moving as long as he has a wall nearby. He's one of the few characters that actually interacts with a wall constantly in a match, kind of similar to when Hanzo shoots a scatter arrow off of it. He needs to be placed on it all of the time to get a lot of benefits, which is a really weird playstyle. Very unique too. I've never seen anything like that in another MOBA, but I will admit that my MOBA experience has gone down in the last few years. I won't talk your ear off anymore. We'll get straight into the match today. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you enjoy the video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And without any further ado, here's our game. It's a doozy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on Braxis Holdout today. The friendly team, Lucio, Sylvanas, Vala, Garrosh, and Junkrat. The enemy team, Probius, Ariel, Mal'Ganis, Dehaka, and The Butcher. At level 1, I've been debating which one I actually want. Accelerando is what I always used to use. It allows us to get around the map incredibly quickly with that massive increase to our movement speed. But there's also a talent called Slip that gives us a movement speed bonus as well as armor. So I'm thinking maybe I don't need Accelerando. I would take it in most scenarios, but today I wanted to try out smooth moves. While Ride is active, basic attacks heal for 30% of damage dealt and restore 0.5 mana. Increases wall ride duration by 1 second. That means the bonus that we get from being stuck to the wall, we keep that bonus a moment longer. So, our Q ability is a kind of conal ability. It allows us to knock enemies back in a direction. Our W ability swaps our aura, I guess is a good way of putting it, in between a movement speed focus and a healing focus. And then our E ability simply amplifies whichever effect we have active. The yellow ring around us means that we are healing our allies every second. If we swap this with our W, this is a movement speed increase that was fine. I think I was fine. I'm going to say thank you anyway. Some camaraderie at the start of the match. Let's get it going. The movement speed bonus is deceptively strong. In a lot of cases, you may think, well, if I just heal my ally, maybe that's all they need to survive. You know, outputting healing is important. But in other times, simply getting out of range of something that can deal damage to you is so much more valuable. And it's kind of up to the discretion of the player to decide when it's best to use which one. Our trait is called Push Off. It allows us to, if we are attached to a wall, travel off of it at a breakneck speed, kind of gap closing into an area. Nice interrupt by our Garrosh there. And then anyone we pass over is going to be slowed. It allows us to move through enemy hitboxes, so we could do things like what we just did to get to the other side of the enemy team's Mal'Ganis and then push him back into our team for even more damage. The enemy team's Butcher only looking at 16 meats so far. Let's try to keep it that way as best as we can. We're coming up on level 4 pretty fast. Once we get there, we are going to be picking up the subwoofer talent. This allows us, if we complete a quest, the quest is to boop 3 people at a time with our Q ability. Kind of hard to do sometimes, actually. But if we do it, we can then increase the range at which we knock back enemies if they are very close to our hitbox. So that simply means that we're going to be able to reposition enemies super duper hard, hopefully comboing with Garrosh to accumulate some kills for our team. The enemy team's Mal'Ganis is being pushed away. I'm continuing the chase. I don't have any fear. I'm going to shove off into him, knock him into our Garrosh. That's not what I meant to do. But everything turned out totally fine. Butcher being knocked back now. We're going to focus him with our auto attacks, boop him back a little bit. He has to go back the other direction now if he wants to get to safety. He has been totally displaced. That is so fun. Displacements are my favorite form of crowd control in MOBAs. I don't think I've ever been shy about that, and Lucio has a really satisfying one. The only way it could be improved is if there was a Sombra announcer, and then every time you boop someone on Lucio, she said that. Is anyone still at Blizzard? That's a good idea. Maybe you should take it. The enemy team being really pushed back into their base here. The beautiful thing about this is we don't really need the objective. If we are winning simply by, you know, stealing their buildings, by taking their shit, then that's good enough. I don't have knockback to keep our allies safe here. That might have been an instance where the speed boost would have been more valuable, but we can amp it up right now. I'm going to tap my sippy cup, start to get my mana back up as well. So Lucio's healing is kind of a slow trickle until Amp It Up is ready, so, you know, proper usage of that cooldown is important. I'm hoping that when the Butcher starts to really engage, we might be able to complete our boop quest. This is the range of our Q. You can see it's not very big. If we complete our quest, it does get bigger. Here, right here. Oh, yeah. Ooh, the throw into the base for the Butcher. Nice reposition by Garrosh. This is feeling a little toxic. I'm going to speed boost myself forward, get in front of Ariel, and try to knock her towards our team. Now I'm taking a little bit too much damage. Let me just start to wall ride back to safety. We're going to land some auto attacks on Mal'Ganis when we can, but of course we have to keep ourselves safe as well. One knockback here should be all that we need to get our Garrosh out to safety. He went back in, the madman. We did swap over to healing, trying to keep him alive. We are still focused on healing. Mal'Ganis putting us to sleep. Might be able to get away, but actually way overstayed his welcome. Now, the enemy team's Probius is doing a great job of defending top, but because we are winning these team fights down here, we are going to get this building for free. And at the end of the day, getting siege damage in is why you take structures in the first place. That's why you get them. So if we can get that for free, even without the objective, that is pretty huge. And Vol is right. We should rotate up top after this. One of the best ways to get used to the movement on Lucio, if you're brand new to him, is to simply hold down right click all the time. You're not doing a lot of adjustments with your movement. You're simply doing smooth movements around wherever you are trying to go. Garrosh with the grab. We're going to boop him back as well, actually securing that kill with the boop. Let's heal up our Sylvanas really fast. We can also group these guys up a little bit better for her. And I'm going to start rotating. I mean, do we want to swap lanes? Should Sylvanas take bottom now? Maybe that's a good idea, actually. The enemy team did secure bottom pretty quickly. I'm going to boop back Garrosh. The Butcher charging in. I wanted to get as far away from him as I possibly could. We were on a wall, so we could have booped ourselves back if we needed to. Let's make sure we still have our healing up. High Five is a relatively new heroic ability for Lucio in the grand scheme of things. Actually, Amp It Up, our level 7 talent, was previously our heroic ability. I'm going to make sure that this enemy team's Probius cannot escape my area of influence. We're back on the objective up here, starting the siege on the top lane. What the High Five does, it's going to cost us a little bit of mana, but then we can snap right to one of our allies. This not only cleanses that ally, but then gives them a heal as well. The Bro Shield can still be super impactful, but the High Five allows me to get people out of the Butcher's ultimate, and it lets me spot heal targets that are getting low. That's something that Lucio actually struggles with. He can heal up a big area, no problem, but if one person in particular is struggling, that can be hard. We're going to shove ourselves even further away from the enemy team's Butcher, forcing him to overcommit to that push. Now booping back the enemy team's Mal'Ganis. Your eyes are not deceiving you. We did get a kill on Ariel, but Ariel actually managed to get a resurrection off on herself, negating that kill. Couple high fives on our team to keep them alive, and this push is looking pretty good. Sylvanas down in the bottom lane should be able to really enhance that Zerg push, no problem. And then the rest of our team is up here in the top lane, able to deal with whatever the enemies managed to summon in. The goal for this particular build is to always be auto-attacking, because as we progress later into the game, we will pick up the frequency, which is going to lower the cooldown of our Amp It Up pretty considerably. Let's make sure we have our speed boost as we're rotating down. Lucio used to be one of my most played heroes, but I kind of got out of that once they kind of redesigned him. Damage Lucio used to be so fucking fun, and I'm sure I'm going to talk about that in my intro, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much. Butcher being double knocked back there, trying to engage on me, but Garrosh is not going to allow it. Now I'm going to get on the other side of Mal'Ganis, knock him back into our damage dealers, and we take him down as well. Garrosh chasing after the enemy team's Dahaka really close to the wall. There it is, and we're going to follow that up with, you guessed it, yet another boop. This team is doing excellent stuff. Now we're going to get a talent that gives us armor whenever we're attached to a wall. You may have noticed our level 1 talent increases our wall ride time. So that means we're going to carry that armor with us a little bit longer as well. Here's the charge. We're going to make sure that his health is fine, even though the enemy Butcher did cancel that. Good knockback on Probius. We're just gonna boop that. Dude, we actually have like the dream team here. This is kind of insane. Butcher is going to be coming off cooldown soon with his charge. I'm going to knock him back towards my team if I can. He is charging in on Garrosh, who we can make unstoppable. Junkrat, who we can make unstoppable. Amp it up to try to keep our Garrosh alive. Get these guys off of his back. And then I was going to try to speed boost us away, but yet again, what do I know? This fight is continuing. One more boop to knock the enemy team's Ariel back. And that also helped to secure the kill on Mal'Ganis. We're now going to amp it up, making sure our team has ample health as we're pushing in for a tier 2 defensive structure. The ultimate of the enemy team's Probius is going off. Are those protected? Probius got buff? Oh, good. 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 I mean, I'm getting close to Probius. I'm actually was really dreading that. We even tried a Probius week where I was like, I'm going to learn this character. And then all I did was get frustrated by the end of the week. It wasn't working. I kept trying to auto attack stuff. That's not what you're supposed to do. Friendly team is following back. We're going to keep auto attacking. Does this only work on heroes? Basic attacks heal for 30% of damage dealt and restore mana? No, all the time. Sweet. So actually, while we're getting these mercenary camps, I can kind of refill my mana battery a little bit. I don't hate that one bit. And again, how I'm doing that is just holding down right click and then moving my cursor along the walls. It's kind of weird, but there's nothing special to it once you understand the formula. The enemy team has taken over mercenary camp up here. The friendly team on top of that right away and clearing it out. 16's coming up really fast. And once we hit level 16, we're going to be cycling so much healing that the enemy is going to really have to focus me. Otherwise, I don't know if it'll work out for them. So what this does is every time we auto attack, wall ride increases our attack range by 2.2. That's an important fact. And then every time we auto attack, it's going to reduce the cooldown of Amp It Up. So if I'm attached to the wall, that is less of a limiting factor because we can auto attack even further. If I'm attached to the wall, I'm getting a movement speed increase as well as an armor increase. And now we're making it so we could just use Amp It Up whenever we feel like it. One important thing to note about High Five as well is it allows us to reposition a little bit. Sometimes on Lucio, if you're not next to a wall and you can't do this push-off thing to get yourself to safety, then shit can start to get really sketchy really fast. Here we are amping up again, keeping our allies alive, slapping on over to Garrosh to make sure that he is... Ooh, never mind, CC. Now we're slapping over to Garrosh to make sure he's okay. And then you guessed it, we amp it up one more time. Probius being launched forward. Butcher coming in on me. Actually, really well done, but Garrosh able to get us out to safety. Now I'm going to get on the other side here and boop the enemy team's Dahaka back into our friendly team. High five to an ally to get to safety. Bro, Lucio's a little toxic still. He's a little toxic still. This is kind of ridiculous. This is kind of ridiculous. We are seeing a resurrection go down on Mal'Ganis. He's going to come back. Is he going to try to engage right away? It looks like he decided not to. This building is still holding, even though our team's here trying to get something done. We do have a couple of our allies being put to sleep. I don't think that's a very big deal. We're simply going to make sure that we continue to amp it up whenever we can. Speaking of amp it up, look at the cooldown as it becomes available yet again. Kind of playing with fire here, poking at the butcher, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make him overcommit so I can wall ride myself back to safety. And in the meantime, amp it up for my allies to be healed yet again. Did get a boop on Mal'Ganis there. We see our Garrosh being attacked by the butcher, but it doesn't even matter. As Vala dives into the enemy team's base, we're simply going to follow her with a high five. Keep her close, keep her healed. Oh, this is a stomp. Oh no. Oh no. As our team groups up again, we are going to continue to heal every single one of them. I have to kind of attach to the core here to get a lot of my bonuses, but if Dahaka comes back in range, I'm gonna boop him out now. We can auto attack him and basically live indefinitely under this core. He is gonna hit me with the isolation, which does limit my vision a little bit. I can't see my allies right now like Sylvanas, but I am able to save her at least momentarily. With the butcher out of the base, a lot of ults are being used on the other side of the core, but we just stay over here and keep auto attacking. Was not expecting this game to be that much of a stomp, but this is kind of the situation you want to draft Lucio into. If you could stay by all of your allies and continuously pump out AoE healing on these 2-lane maps, he can get a lot of value. And we just randomed into displacement on top of displacement on top of displacement. That was pretty crazy. Lucio almost up to the golden ring. Just a few more games to finish that off. Maybe we'll do that soon. We did 25,000 hero damage, 86,000 healing, almost doubling the healing of the enemy team's Ariel. The townsman for today, smooth moves just to see if I liked it. It was good. Subwoofer into reverse amp, high five into slip, up the frequency at level 16, and then at 20, I would have likely gone for house party. Imagine the healing we were pushing out there with 3 allies around us all the time. Well, now for each ally affected by our crossfade, we would get another 8% increased healing. Actually, so crazy. Thank you all for being here. Hope you enjoyed today's video. We'll be back soon with a look at Lunara. Take care. See you guys again soon.